Welcome to the Gloria Show, where personal growth takes center stage. Founder and CEO of Personal Dynamics, Gloria Sloan, shares practical strategies to enrich your life, elevate your mindset, and empower your journey. As she reminds us, ultra-successful people never stop learning, reaching, and growing. Get ready for fresh insights and uplifting inspiration. Here's your host, Gloria Sloan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gloria Show. Welcome to the first episode of 2026. I am so excited to tell you who our special guest is. Les Brown. We're going to bring him in, and he's going to kick us off in 2026 with an amazing motivational quick start. Come on in the house, Les Brown.
Thank you very kindly. It's a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege, and I haven't seen you since last year.
Always good to see you.
Yes, the same here. So I just want to ask you this. When you think about, we've been blessed to see a new year, and we know, and this is what you believe and what you practice, that it can't be a new year unless there's a new you. Am I correct?
That is correct. Got to be a new you.
Absolutely. So I want to ask you, what's going to be different for Gloria Sloan as you take on this new year, as you look at your life and you look at what it is you want to do and going to do? What's going to be different about you?
What will be different about me this year is I'm going to come alive with my true story. That's the one thing I want to do. I'm going to come alive with my true story. It's something that, for whatever the reason, has not been truly told. And now I realize that's necessary. So for 2026, everything I do moving forward is going to be attached to my story.
I see. Very good. I like that. Well, let me tell you what I'm going to do. Because I'm 80 and February the 17th, I'll be 81. Listen, I used to think people in their 40s were 80. Were young, old. Now that I'm 80 and going to be 81 February the 17th, I feel like I served at the Lord's Supper. Okay, so I'm going to be more mindful of my time, how I deal with my time. People talk about time management. You can't manage time, but you can manage yourself. And so managing myself and making sure the choices that I make are worthy of the time investment that's required. They say time is money. No, time is life. You got that? Yes.
I got that.
Okay, come on now. So tell me, how can I serve you on this first broadcast of the year? Because I'm ready for you.
You are ready for it. You know, we have had some great conversations just in general about moving forward, doing things that you need to do when you look at moving forward in a greater, better perspective in a new year. And we talked about how to look at your aspirations for where you want to go, where you've been, where you want to go, whether it's job related, and, you know, being accessible to power, to implement the powers that we have that we don't. And I just know that there's something that you can share with the audience that will give some impact to that. That is what I want them to hear from you, from Les Brown.
Thank you. Well, they're going to hear it from me, but it came from you and came from your father. What is your father's name?
David.
David. All right. We had a conversation, ladies and gentlemen, and I was asking her some questions. And the reason I was asking her some questions, I remember hearing a sermon once, and the sermon said, "We are today what we were when." And it was what it was referring to, something that I believe in the book called Learned Optimism, that during the ages of 0 and 7, the things that we see, the voices that we hear, the people that are around us, they influence us, and we make decisions about our lives, and we embrace behaviors and choices that reflect that early beginning where we were merely a sponge and taking in life. And when I think about the message that we need today, one of the things that Gloria Sloan is teaching people is, in this era of accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition, that this is a time that you have to become your own boss. And she developed that mindset from her father, David. He was an entrepreneur. Her mother passed at a very early age. That Gloria was around 6 years of age, and her father became a single father. I mean, a single child being raised, one child being raised by a father, and he was all in. But not only was he a father, but I want you to write this down. When you think about your goals and dreams for this year, I want you to write down growth mindset. I remember the book came out about growth mindset. Most people, ladies and gentlemen, all that they know now is all that they will ever know. But the people that will make 2026 work for them will be just like Gloria's father, David. He had a growth mindset. He believed in the value of learning. And this is a time in this era where that the 40-40 plan is gone, where you can expect to go to college and you graduate with a lot of bills, and you're going to work for 40 years and retire on 40%, which wasn't enough in the first place. That's gone. This is no longer a job market, which our educational system has groomed us for. That this is the era of the entrepreneur, that people have to become their own boss. And so you have to have a growth mindset. You have to see the value of investing in yourself, because you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. And so the people that are going to succeed, and I want you to write this down, learning is a non-negotiable. That if you're not willing to learn, you're putting yourself in a very dangerous position. It was something that Robert Schuller said. He said, expand or you are expendable. If you're not willing, and here's why this is so important. Most people, after they graduate from high school, less than 10% ever read a book past the first chapter. Let's think about that. That we are in a system that we have been curated and trained and conditioned to be entertainers, to consume entertainment, as opposed to making it important that we have a growth mindset and making it mandatory that we are learning continuously so that we can expand, we can develop the skill set and the mindset that we need to retool and reskill and upgrade our knowledge. Einstein said, the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. And there are people who have the capacity to win, but they're failing because they're trying to open up new doors of opportunity with an old mindset, an old skill set, and that won't cut it. The other thing is that you have to own the results in your life. What do you mean by that? It's easy to complain. It's easy to criticize and talk about the government and all the things that are taking place, and look at government officials and our circumstances and say, this is why I'm where I am. But the people that are going to make it, the people that will take responsibility for their life, are the people who take ownership for their life, ownership for their choices and their behavior, and are willing to invest themselves in doing something that Henry David Thoreau talked about. He said the people that make it in this life, they take not only an ownership mindset, but they take responsibility for the results that they want to produce in their lives. See, there's never been a statue erected to a critic, but the people who take an ownership mindset for what they want to create in their lives, not depending upon the government, not depending upon the people around them, but saying to themselves, I got this. I can do this. I'm willing to grow. I'm willing to learn, because all of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. And I'm willing to take ownership for where I am and the situation that I find myself in. And I'm willing to, and this is very important, develop relationships that's an asset to you. Your relationships determine how much you will earn, how much you will produce in your life. They did a study, and what they found was that you earn within $2,000 of your closest friends. one of the things that David did, that Gloria's father, that he was selective of the people that he had around them. You have to look at the people in your life right now and ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me? Am I growing mentally and emotionally and spiritually? Is this person a resource? See, there are some people, they're always there when they need you, but when you need them, you can't find them. And I want you to take the time, as we're talking about relationships, write this down. Don't be the go-to person for people you can't go to. Now that'll preach. Don't be the go-to person for people you can't go to. There are people who are always there when they need you, but when you need them, you can't find them. And so it's very important for you to have a period of time that you will evaluate the people that come in your life. Give them 90 days trial period. Why? Because there are people who can put on a great Academy Award performance. They'll be what they want, what you want them to be. But eventually, in 90 days, you're going to see the real deal. And one of the things that Maya Angelou said, she said, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you, I wish I'd heard that years ago. Just think about this. Have you ever had a relationship and it went south and you just were trying to save the relationship and it went down the drain, and years later, you saw that person, you've grown mentally and emotionally and spiritually, and you ask yourself the question, what state of mind was I in when I went up in there and I was trying to save that? Are you serious? Come on. Yeah. See,
I believe
people, if you never saw them again, it'll be too soon. So as we look at ourselves and look at our goals and dreams, that we have to have a growth mindset, that we have to develop our mind and elevate our thinking, and we have to make it mandatory and non-negotiable of learning continuously to continue to open up new doors of opportunities and to create new opportunities for ourselves, and taking ownership for our lives and not depending upon the government or DEI or whatever to begin to allow us to control our own personal economy. And you have to have relationships around you that's an asset to you, that influence and bring the best out of you. The Academy Award winner Sidney Poitier, in his book called The Measure of a Man, he said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. Either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? When you think about that we earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of our closest friends. When you think about the fact that if you're a top performer, and a study was done on this, that if you're a top performer in a sales team and someone comes in and they're a poor performer, that your production, your sales would decrease by 30%, because the environment dictates how you perform and the results that you're able to get. And so that brings us to the next level. Invest in yourself. That's the most important thing that you can do. Most people invest in entertainment, invest in clothes, looking good, and invest in bling bling. And very few people, the average person spends less than $14.50 a year for their personal growth and development. This is a new space. It's a new place. And there's a saying that insanity is doing the same thing in the same way, expecting a different outcome. If you aren't willing to work to develop yourself and having a growth mindset and learning all that you possibly can and taking ownership for your life and the results that you produce and having relationships that bring out the best in you and relationships that challenge you. There was a study done at Harvard University, and they wanted to know what is it that the 1%ers do that they have in common. And they found that the 1%ers, that 1% of people who control the wealth of the world, they had a reference group. They had relationships with people who bring the best out of them, who challenge them, who hold them to a higher standard. So you want to create a reference group of OQP, only quality people, surrounding yourself with only quality people. And when you invest in yourself and you have relationships that bring the best out of you, that brings you to the next level. That is so very important. And that is activate your faith. You know, I love what one of the things that Mary McLeod Bethune said. She said, pray as if everything depends upon God, but work as if everything depends upon you. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I asked her, what are you doing in 2026? She said, I'm waiting on God. I said, yeah. I said, well, God is waiting on you.
That's
You
so
take one
interesting.
step, I'll take two. You all right? And so as we look at ourselves, we have to activate our faith. Faith without works is dead. What do you want? What do you see? And don't ask the question, how do I do it? It's not necessary that you don't know how to do it. That's why we're taught to walk by faith and not by sight. All of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. Figure it out. Make the commitment that you're not going to live a life of mediocrity. One of the things I think it's very important that Dr. Miles Monroe said, rob the cemetery of your talents, of your abilities, of your skills. Dr. Howard Thurman, who was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Albert Schweitzer, he said the ideal situation for a man or woman to die is have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghosts of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents, the leadership, the story, the voice that God had given you, standing around your bed, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, we came to you. Only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever.
Wow.
The question is, if you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what books, what inventions, what leadership, what voice, what story will die with you?
Did you do?
Live full, die empty, rob the cemetery of your genius.
Wow.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That came from David, Gloria's daddy, okay?
I really do appreciate that, Les. Well, before we leave, just one thing in our conversation that you did share with me, and that is how one can choosing your future. You touched base on everything that one can put into place. And as I was making notes, even in our conversation, there were just a few things that just stood out when you said that to me. Choosing your future. What can we do? How can we do?
I think as we take on this new year, I think it's very important, and I'm doing this myself, that we take time to get still, to look at our lives, look at ourselves. What is it that I set out to do in 2025? How much of that did I do? And how much of that I didn't get done? And then after reflecting, all the stores who sell merchandise, they do an inventory to find out what products were moving and what products collected dust. It didn't sell. And they changed the product. They dropped that line of product. There are behaviors that we are engaged in that no longer serve us. And so now we have to decide, what are the behaviors and the choices and the relationships that's an asset to me rather than a liability. One of the things you told me about your father, that was a people person. That people, when he was with them, they felt seen, they felt heard, and they felt respected and valued. And so we want to, as we go forward, you can't make it by yourself. You have to have a team of only quality people to help you get to that next level, to help you to dominate the niche where you are. And we have to also look at what's working and what's not working. Because when we look at where we are right now, we are victims of weapons of mass distractions. We're being distracted every day. I've never seen a time since I've been on the planet that every day there's something that's happening. And so the people that are going to make it are the people that discipline themselves. Discipline. Socrates said the undisciplined life is an insane life. We must discipline ourselves. We must protect our ears because we don't want to allow our minds to be a dump yard for things that don't serve us. And we have to protect our eyes That's the only way things can get through our ears and through our eyes. I don't watch any and everything. I don't watch things that
Yeah.
where there's a lot of killing. I don't watch things that scare me half to death. I watch things that make me feel good, and I love to laugh. You know, I'm
Yeah.
a 39-year fourth stage cancer conqueror. Every time 1 minute of laughter boosts your immune system for 4 to 5 hours. Just think about that.
Wow.
1 minute of laughter boosts your immune system for 4 to 5 hours. 1 minute of anger weakens your immune system for over 24 hours.
Wow.
So when I read the book, The Anatomy of an Illness, by
Mm-hmm.
physicist Norman Cousins, who was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and what he did when he was told that he had 6 months to live, he started watching Groucho Marx, the millenniums don't know anything about Groucho Marx and Lucille Ball and Jimmy Durante. Good night, good night, good night, good night, Miss Calabish, wherever you are. You know, you got a young audience, okay? I'm old as Methuselah. I'm 80, okay? Jackie Gleason. One of these things, pow, right in the nose. That's when television was television and it was fun. But today, they got
Yeah.
all kind of stuff. Today,
Drama.
these kids being raised by iPads. And so it's a different world. And so we have to be protective of our sanity. We're being affected by algorithms that's doing behavior marketing. That I went on the line to look up something dealing with how I can get a 6-pack in 2026 because I got a 2-pack, okay? And all kind of stuff came up after that, all type of exercises that I can do. And some they got a belt that you can wear around your body, and it will cause stimulation, and you can get a 6-pack, whatever. You know, so what happens is that they're watching the technology, know what the choices that we're making, and they start marketing to us based upon the choices that we're making every day. They keep it in front of us. They're buying our attention. Attention is the new currency. And so the work that you're doing, this show that you have produced of teaching people how to become your own boss, and that you have to have a growth mindset, that you know, you got to be like the woman who said, Lord, I ain't what I want to be, ain't what I'm going to be, but thank God I sure ain't what I was. That you've got to learn continuously because things are constantly changing. When I was a kid, I used to work in a bowling alley. They knocked the pins down. Me and other kids, we would straighten the pins up. Then somebody came along, creative destruction. They created an electronic tray that picked up the pins, and they no longer needed us. I remember a time if you want to make a long distance phone call, you had to call the long distance operator.
Yeah.
Technology replaced that. And my sister and other friends who were operators, they lost their jobs. I used to be an elevator boy. You got on the elevator, I asked, what floor, please? And it was operated manually. And then somebody fixed an elevator that did not have to be operated manually. And so we lost our jobs, called creative destruction. This is what's happening with artificial intelligence. Things that are done repetitively, they are going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. However, we will always be in the mix of things. I came out the era of Marvin Gaye and
Yeah.
Tammy Terrell. Ain't nothing like the
Like
real
the
thing,
real thing.
baby. Come on, we are the real thing up in here, up in here.
That is so true. That is so true, Les. You have just really given a great perspective of what we all can do for 2026 moving forward this year that has started. And what you have said resonates, I know, with me.
Well, if
And
you notice now, it's called the Gloria Factor. Growth mindset, G. Learn all you can, L. O. Own your life, I. In R. Relationships matter, I. Invest in yourself, A. Activate your
action.
faith. It's
You
the
got to send that to
Gloria
me. I
Factor.
love that. You took my
Yeah.
name and did that. You have to send that to me.
Yeah.
Les, thank you. Thank you so much. This has been great. You have given me more than even what I had asked you to do. You just hit it right where we needed it for moving into 2026.
Well, I want to thank you for the show that you're doing. You and Doreen, your partner. I want you to know y'all making a difference. Your voice matters. The program that you are producing, people need things that's positive that can inspire them and lift their spirits. And that's the stand that you are taking with your life because you're David's daughter.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Stay tuned. We're going to be back in a minute.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
If you've ever felt like you were made for more, you were. On Sunday, February 1st, 2026, a powerful transformation experience is taking place at the Atlanta Airport Marriott, featuring the legendary Les Brown and a powerhouse lineup of speakers. This isn't just an event. This is your wake-up call. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and most importantly, you'll rise. You'll learn how to unlock the greatness already living inside of you. You'll walk in discipline and leave with destiny. Don't wait for someday. Don't let your dreams die in your mind. Make the decision to show up for your future because you deserve it. To purchase tickets, visit www.lesbrown.com.
Hello there, and welcome back to the Gloria Show. You just heard an amazing 2026 perspective from Les Brown, and there's more to come. There is more to come. He gave us all the ways and opportunities that we can choose our future moving forward. I mean, he really laid it out for us and what we can do. And I am forever grateful for him taking the time to come to be on the Gloria Show, the first episode of 2026, so that we now have ammunition. We have more than we expected to be able to move forward. And we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to be positive with a growth mindset. I hope you took some good notes because he gave us a good plan that we can take to heart because he knows what he's talking about. Trust me, he's a great person, a wonderful motivator, and it's just always a pleasure when he can take a minute of his time to come and be with us on the Gloria Show. Thank you again so much for joining me on this show. And until next time, remember, ultra successful people never stop reaching for new heights. They never stop growing to be the very best that they can be. Until next time, goodbye for now.
You've been listening to The Gloria Show. Be sure to check out www.gloriasloan.com for more tools, strategies, and inspiration. And don't forget to connect with Gloria on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Until next time, stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep moving toward your best self.